Hey there, Judge Hunter.
Good afternoon, Dr. Enoch.
How are you today?
I'm wonderful.
All right, so we're here for another exciting day of prizes and in an effort to raise money to cover your court costs. And so I'm excited that we have we've got over 800 names on our wheel, and today, in addition to the Oh, I hear echo. And are you trying to set up your,
I'm trying to share it.
yep, okay, good enough. I just need to, while you're sharing that, I guess I'm just checking to make sure that we have all of the latest names on the wheel. And so today we've got, in addition to giving away a 55-inch television set, we're also going to be giving away 2 bonus prizes.
Yay!
So, yeah, so there are some people, 2 very fortunate people are gonna be eligible for a couple bonus drawing. We didn't anticipate doing these 2, so we found out last night we had 2 additional things to give away, and so I'm going to announce what those are in just a second. Um, let's see. I'm just checking to get everybody on the wheel, and then I'm gonna share it here shortly. So yesterday we had a really good conversation. I'm not sure if this is everybody. Let me just check on something here. We had a really good conversation about um, our about what's going on around the country, and in particular with regard to police brutality and that kind of, well, we talked about police brutality. We also talked about race in general and some of the issues that um, African Americans have faced. But what we didn't talk about is the Women's March that we had on Saturday and some of the issues surrounding why we hosted that Women's March. And so I wanted to just chat briefly about that because I think it's a very important um, issue uh, as it relates to how African American women are treated in this country. And I didn't want to allow that to escape us as we're discussing issues of race and some of the difficulties. I was actually very moved by that event on Saturday because it was the opportunity for women to Black women to share their stories of what they had endured in this county, right here in Hamilton County, as we're discussing the importance of respecting Black lives and all of those kinds of things. Women across the county um, shared their stories of things that had happened to them, from taking away their children and the frustrations that of trying to operate a business or own property here in Cincinnati. And I actually found myself in tears just realizing just how relatable each of our stories were. What was your takeaways? How did you feel about the event? What were some of the things that were important to you in having this event?
Well, yeah, as you know, I felt really strongly about organizing an event that would focus on the injustices happening to Black women and not obviously just because I've experienced probably one of the most egregious, personally, that I've even seen, especially for the length of time that I've been enduring it. But I know personally, even as a lawyer before I became a judge, I remember representing Black women who had been molested by a physician while he was treating them. And when I took their case, I knew that they would be treated differently because they were Black women. And so it was very important to me not only to represent them, but to ensure that they were treated with the same dignity and respect had it been a white woman that had to make the same allegation towards a doctor. And just over the years, just watching the brutality against Black women, and not just Black women, girls. You remember, I'm sure, Dr. Enoch, the images of, I can't remember which state that was now. I don't know if it was Texas, where the little girl was in a bathing suit. These white cops were all over her on the ground, brutalizing her. She was half clothed. She was in a bathing suit. And what threat did she recognize? Did she bring to them? But they were treating her like she was a full blown man with, armed. I've seen images of Black women being beat mercilessly in the face, pummeled by white police officers on the side of the road, body slammed. Recently, a Black grandmother was tackled by and brutalized in a Sam's club. I'm a member of Sam's. She was accused of stealing a TV that the employees had confirmed that she'd purchased. And yet, armed with that information, the white officer still took down this Black grandmother in a Sam's. In Indianapolis recently, during these protests, a young Black woman was standing, and it looked like one of the white officers actually he arrested her, and while she had her hands behind her back, he groped her. And so she broke loose because he was groping her breast. And when she broke loose and just stood there, they pummeled her with rubber bullets, and then took her down, and with a chokehold. I think they had the baton up against under her throat, choking her. And then they were beating her with these metal batons. And then in Fairfield a few years ago, I believe in 2015, right here in Cincinnati, Ohio, Fairfield is like a suburb, if you will, outside of Cincinnati. A Black pregnant woman, 6 months old, had dropped her children off to go to the pool, and they got a call saying that the children weren't dressed appropriately. She came to pick the children up, and the white cops inside the pool brutalized her. She was pregnant. They didn't care that she was pregnant. And then the most recent one of the most recent images that just reemerged was a Black woman laying on the ground pregnant, and a white police officer tased her in the stomach, intentionally tased her in her stomach, and she lost her child. So
Wow.
these are the types of stories that hurt me as a Black woman that I've watched over the years. And so I just knew it was so important to bring Black women from every area possible. We had women from the education sector, just every area.
Healthcare. Yeah. Healthcare.
And there were police officers that I wanted to bring that I talked to, personally, but they were afraid to share their story, and I understood. There were a few women that I contacted who have some very egregious stories right here in Cincinnati, but because either they're still in those positions or just not ready to be vocal, they didn't come forward. But the list is endless, Dr. Enoch, about the brutalization of African American or Black women, and we quite honestly don't get the attention. Breonna Taylor, killed in her sleep, didn't get any attention. They closed her case until George Floyd was killed. And so unfortunately, and fortunately, it was unfortunately that he was killed, but fortunately, as a result of the outcry based on him being killed, a lot of Black women are now getting their cases reopened, like Carol Horn, the police officer fired in 2008 for actually intervening in an act of brutality by one of her colleagues against a citizen, and she intervened to stop it. And so all these years later, because of George Floyd, now her case is coming back to the forefront. But why? Why as Black women are we always relegated to the background? Why are we treated so horrifically? Why was I treated so horrifically as the first African American Juvenile Court judge, because they don't see us as equals to white women, and we're at the bottom of the totem pole. And so it was important to us as the Coalition for Just Hamilton County to organize that protest for Black women, to bring our voices to the table, to bring our Black female voices and faces to the table, and to say our Black lives matter too.
You know, Judge Hunter, when I think of our experiences as Black women, I'm reminded that we are the most educated as a group in this country, yet we have the lowest um, economic status. We are relegated to low wage employment, low wage jobs, despite the fact that we've done everything that we were told to do in order to have access to that American dream. And so, you know, it's not lost on me that our struggle is really a struggle against the lie that we've been told is the American dream. In addition to the brutality that is afforded women, no matter what our race is, we've got an extra dose of hostility by virtue of the fact that our skin is brown. And, you know, I think when we think about the American dream and we think about um, the fact that we're not included in conversations about what that American dream is, as we're preparing and embarking upon July 4th in this country, which has been uh, as an Independence Day. It certainly had not been an Independence Day for African Americans, and for sure not for African American women, as we continue to suffer under a governmental system that has relegated us. But the thing that I'm also not lost on is the fact that we were never included. You know, we weren't even considered either as our status of women, of being women, or African Americans. Neither of those groups, our intersectional groups, were considered part of the Constitution. We were wealthy white male landowners were the only ones at that time who were considered or even eligible to vote or to hold property in this country. And so here we are living under a constitution that was never meant to include us or even consider our humanity. And so I am definitely, as we look at America and what we're attempting to become, the ideals we're attempting um, to advance at this point in history, I think about the legislation that was recently advanced, I believe, by Senator Thomas. What was that legislation exactly?
He wants to eradicate the term slavery from the Ohio State Constitution. Many state constitutions mirror the United States Constitution, and under the United States Constitution of the 13th Amendment specifically states that slavery is illegal in all places in the United States of America except in instances of punishment for a crime. And so the truth of the matter is, it's hard for me to say this, but that's what I'm really considered as a slave, based on that unjust conviction of me as a juvenile court judge. It literally it says you can have, the only place slaves are allowed is as for punishment of a crime. And that's what the Ohio State Constitution also says in one of its articles. It says that slavery is not allowed except for as punishment for crime. And so involuntary servitude is still allowed if you are convicted of a crime, which is the reason why there has always been a push to criminalize Black people starting at a very young age as children, because that was the replacement for slavery. So we supposedly outlawed slavery, but on the other hand, legalized it, allowed it to continue to be legalized as punishment for a crime. Therefore, you make all Black people criminals so that you can keep them enslaved.
And it's so sad, but so often I hear, and in fact, I listened to a video just earlier today, and just a couple minutes long, and I may share that video here, because what happens in this video is this white female um, expresses her frustration over um, African Americans um, and our desire to, advance slavery, and how we weren't around for slavery, and she's just basically expressing her anger that none of us had anything to do with slavery. Yet we still, as African Americans, are still enduring this slave system. And right here in America, where people are believing that slavery ended, and that we're not, there's no longer slavery, and that they shouldn't be held accountable for what happened to our ancestors. Hold on one second. I'm trying to prepare it, but that we shouldn't be responsible, I'm sorry, that they shouldn't be responsible. White people shouldn't be responsible for what our ancestors endured. Yet, we both know that slavery isn't something that was relegated to our ancestors. We are living under a new form of slavery right now in this country, with 2 million African Americans incarcerated. A good portion population is incarcerated. But even outside of being incarcerated, we are impacted by the slave system, whether we've been incarcerated or not, because those African Americans who are incarcerated, they're our husbands, or our fathers, brothers and sisters, cousins. They are, the lifeblood of our community that has been relegated to this new form of Jim Crow and new form of slavery. I want to actually play that video, but before I play the video, what I want to do is, I want to remind people that we are here today as the last day for drawing names of people who have donated to help pay your court costs, because we also realize that what happened to you was unfair, unjust, and that you didn't do anything to deserve everything that you endured. And as a community and the Coalition for a Just Hamilton County, we watched the injustices directed towards you, and many of us did. And as a result of that, we banded together as a community, pastors of churches and civil rights organization leaders, and leaders and individuals from the community. We all came together to help raise money for your court cost and also your legal defense. And I know even after we finish raising money for your court cost, that you're still in a legal battle, and that the money is still, still needed. The donations are still needed. This month-long effort to raise money for your court costs is because of what we knew was going to happen if we did not raise those court costs for you. And the frustrating thing is that taxpayer money funds that court system. And so our money has already been spent to fund the court system. And then over and above the money that the taxpayers have spent to pay those costs already, now we as taxpayers are being, really, we're getting the shakedown because of the unfair treatment of somebody who is a duly elected judge of the juvenile court here in Hamilton County. So not only have our tax dollars gone to waste, but as well, 120,000 votes in this county were nullified. And so as we've continued to stand up for you and continue to raise money for your legal defense, some individuals who have participated in that have the opportunity today to win some very awesome prizes as a result of having helped to raise money. And I just want people to know they can still go to TracieHunterLegalDefenseFund.com and donate to your court cost as well as to your legal defense. And beyond what we're doing here in this drawing, they can continue to donate. And so Tracie Hunter, Tracie is spelled with an IE as it is on the screen. And um, I want to tell you what those prizes are before we draw. So we're going to give away a 55-inch color TV today, but we're also, as some bonus prizes, we're going to give away a $25 Trios gift card, as well as a $25 Cracker Barrel gift card. And so I want to go ahead and share the screen and put the wheel on the screen so that people can see our drawing. So I'm going to draw real quick, and then I want to play the video after I draw. And then after the video, we'll go ahead and draw for that color TV. So let me share the screen.
And while you're doing that, Dr. Enoch, I would like to say that when you talk about the amount of money that the taxpayers have been forced to pay to fund my personal lynching and takedown as the first African American juvenile court judge, it started with the election. They spent almost $2 million just to keep me from being elected the juvenile court judge. Remember when I had to sue them to count the votes? That was almost $2 million right there. And it was funded by the taxpayers, but it was at the personal vendetta, if you will, of Joe Dieters, who was using the taxpayers to fund his personal heist of the first Black judge. And so then after I finally sworn in 2 years after my term began, so I missed 2 years of my term, I missed all of the money. We don't even talk about the livelihood that I lost in the process as a judge. But after I finally get sworn in 2 years later, then after I file the ethics complaints against him, he brings those false charges against me. Then he forces the county to spend a few more millions of dollars to against him. And so at the end of all of this, it's really if we could finally really get the amount of millions that they actually spent directed at one African American woman in Cincinnati using taxpayers' dollars, the city of Cincinnati, Hamilton County, and the state of Ohio should be shamed. They should be ashamed of all of the millions of taxpayer dollars that they have used just because a group of white men opposed one Black woman being a judge.
That's amazing. And I don't want people to miss the fact that those monies went directly to those special prosecutors who were the personal friends of the prosecutor, Joe Dieters. So millions of dollars. And in addition to that, there is a possibility that he used that those same dollars that paid for those attorneys also paid for his divorce, because they were covering his divorce.
Absolutely. Even though the law
or not, those were separate funds. Yes, and so I want to go ahead and spin the wheel so that we see who the winner is going to be, or the winners. I think we'll spin two of them right now. Let's see who of the $25 gift card. Hunter, are you ready, Judge Hunter?
I am. There's a lot of breaking. It's breaking up, and so I'm not sure what's going on technologically here.
Oh,
but you're going in and out.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, I am. Oh, sir. In the wheel, Judge Hunter. Music. so that we can figure out who the winner is going to be for those gift cards. All right, so if you have your ticket ready, I'm going to go ahead and shuffle the names. And so we have put all of the names in all the way up until the people who donated this morning. And so I'm going to go ahead and spin the wheel the first time and see who our winner is going to be for today. The wheel is spinning. Wheels of justice are spinning. Let's see who our winner is going to be for today. Mr. Lee Richardson is our winner for today. Ticket number 1145. Mr. Richardson, you are our winner of the Trio gift card. And so if you know Mr. Richardson, please congratulate him. He is our first winner for today.
Congratulations.
Richardson has donated for he donated in just that $110 ability two more times today. Okay, shuffle the name.
Wow. I can't tell if you are on Dr. Enoch or what happened here. It appears that it's still live, at least according to my computer. I'm not sure.
Okay. Hey, I got knocked off. What did you guys, what was the last thing you saw?
Me. And I was trying to figure out, am I still on? And
were you able to see both? Were you able to see both winners?
No, I didn't see any. The last winner I saw was Lee Richardson, and then it went off, and then it looked like
no. Okay, so we actually have another winner, but I've oh wow. You know what? We need to let me I'm gonna spin the wheel again since you did not get to witness who that winner was. I'm going to spin the wheel again. I'm going to shuffle it again because we want to make sure that the people who are on this wheel have an equal opportunity to view the wheel being spun. And Judge Hunter, I hope you talked about some good stuff when I was gone, because I didn't even know I was gone.
So silly, because I didn't realize that I was on by myself, so I'm just looking at this. Am I on? So I'm just sitting here in the dead air. I should have did a dance or song or something.
Or something. You should have entertained the people, Judge. Absolutely.
I'm not a good filler.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share the screen again so we can draw again and find out who the next winner is going to be. All right, so I just shared the screen. Can you see that wheel, Judge Hunter?
I see it now. I see it.
Okay, so I'm going to shuffle again. And I just shuffled the names. And I'm going to go ahead and spin that wheel again so we can see who our winner is going to be for today. All right, the wheel is spinning, the wheel is spinning, the wheel is spinning. The wheel is spinning. Can you still hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
All right. Can you see that Miss Betty Brock, ticket number 611, is our next winner? Miss Betty Brock, ticket number 611, is our next winner.
And I have to say this.
So
I'm so happy for Miss Brock. Miss Brock has been a supporter of mine from the beginning, literally from the beginning. She sat through that 6-week trial. She supported me through in every way possible. Miss Betty Brock, a very
definitely,
yes, a 80. I shouldn't tell Miss Brock, but she used to be the president of the NCNW for many years. She's just a very prominent Black, strong Black woman in our community. She mentors a lot of Black women, including myself, over the years. I've learned so much from her, and I'm just so glad.
She's a wonderful person.
She's a wonderful and a supportive person. Even recently, the newest president of the NCNW, the National Council of Negro Women, she's from out of town. And she said that the reason her transition here to Cincinnati has been a good one is because of Miss Brock's leadership and her support. And so I'm so glad to see that Mrs. Betty Brock is the winner today.
Congratulations, Mrs. Brock. And Jenna, I want to play a little video. The video that I had mentioned earlier, because I think that this video, some of have been shared by some of our white brothers and sisters. And I want to play this because it's very disturbing. And I think that it's important for people to know that these kinds of mindsets are out.
I don't hear anything. Are you still getting it set up?
You able to see it?
I saw something, but I didn't hear anything. I think we're having a lot of technology issues today.
So, okay, let me hold on a second. Let me that the audio is able to pick up. Hold on one second.
Oh, okay. It looks like I am back by myself again. So let me not make the same mistake and not talk. First of all, I just want to say thank you to everyone that has continued to support me over the years as Judge Tracie Hunter, that has supported me in this very, very long race for justice. It has been a true struggle and a true fight for equality in Hamilton County or Cincinnati, Ohio. But I have only been able to continue to stand and to withstand all that I have endured. And you don't know the half of it, but I've only been able to continue to stand first and foremost because of the grace of God, because it was God who called me to run for judge, and it was God who reminded me throughout this process that he was with me, and he's still with me. He reminded me that even the other day when we had the march, that he was still with me. And so I haven't been able to do it except for God's grace and for the support of innumerable and countless people, not just in Cincinnati, but literally across the country, who have gotten behind me financially or just supported me with prayer. Oh my God, the prayers. The Bible says the effectual fervent prayers of the righteous availeth much. And without the prayers of so many people, I don't know if I could have withstood this. You're back, Dr. Enoch.
All right. It looks like you did a good job that time, Judge.
Right.
All right. All right. So I am, for some reason it is running kind of slow today. But I want to see if we can share this screen and play this video.
Black privilege is thinking that you are deserved or entitled to something because of the color of your skin. Um, they Black people especially, do get special scholarships. They're also shielded from a lot of scrutiny because of the color of their skin. Nobody wants to be tagged as racist. I'm not racist. I have respect for all skin colors: Asian, Hispanic, Black, whatever. I would never treat any patient differently. I would never treat any human being differently. I think God loves everyone. I'm on the same page. However, I don't think that any race is above scrutiny, including Black people. I think that the way people are behaving and the things that are being said are unreal. I don't have words for them. That being said, what do you feel like you go out and do where you're like, oh, I'm Black. Oh, I'm Black. I'm feeling it today. I don't understand. And yes, George actually was resisting arrest. He started to have a freak out panic attack. They went to put him in the car, probably because he was high on meth, fentanyl, and positive for COVID. You should know as a nurse that like COVID is like when you go into severe respiratory distress. He probably had like an MI when he was down on the ground. Was the police officer's foot in the wrong spot? Maybe, but meth and fentanyl and positive COVID are probably more leading factors to an MI. So do your research. Anyway, that being said, there are many cases where in Central Park, Black people killed a white teen and nobody cared. Nobody did a thing. So guess what? It's all subjective to your color. You want to say, yes.
Yeah, the video is not showing Dr. Enoch. We can hear, but persons are commenting on Facebook. They can't see. And now we don't see anything at all. Yeah, we don't hear or see anything now.
Oh.
Okay, apparently, I don't know. It seems that Dr. Enoch has, she's gone again. Clearly, we're having some extreme technological issues today, but again, it does not, well, let me also take the time to thank Dr. Enoch for her tireless work over the years since she became involved in my case. First, just as an observer for her class. She before she became Dr. Enoch, she was a PhD student at Union Institute, and she contacted me one day while I was still actively presiding over cases on the bench. She contacted me and wanted to do a study or a case study on me as a Black woman in leadership, particularly someone who had risen to a level in Hamilton County that heretofore had never been arose to. And so I agreed to to participate in her case study. It was before I had been charged with crimes. And she came to my church one day and she interviewed me. And I was actually in the midst of a lot of turmoil at juvenile court because I was under attack every single day by the prosecutor's office, the media suing me over my rulings not to allow them to put the names or the faces of 12-year-old children in the media. Go figure. And so I'm being sued repeatedly. There's just so much stuff going on. But I took the time to sit down with this PhD student and to allow her to ask me any questions that she wanted for her study. And as part of her study, she ended up coming to my, eventually, I was later charged with crime and by Joe Dieter's office, at the time, 9 felonies. And she was continuing her work on me, and she came to court to um, to watch the trial. And as you know, some of you know, that she was arrested that first day as a poor PhD student, just trying to get her degree. She just wants her degree, and she gets arrested, handcuffed to a bench, treated horribly, and then the rest is history. And here, all these years later, she's been one of my biggest fighters and on this crusade for justice. And so I was just telling them, Dr. Enoch, in your absence, how appreciative I am of all of the work and how God called you for such a time as this. He called you into the fire, girl, and you've been in that fire ever since. And so, but as a result of that, you're now running for Congress, and you're now you're looking at so many different things that need to change, not just the criminal justice system. And I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of where you've come from.
Oh,
And
thank
so,
you.
do kids get bullied at school?
Oh, hold
Yeah,
on a
yeah,
second.
it's wrong, but does it happen? Yeah. So you toughen up and
Lady.
You know, I'm having thank you, Judge. I'm having a tremendous amount of issues with trying to operate my technology today. It actually said that it was my broadcast was interrupted, and the let's just say the devil is busy today.
I know. I was going to say the devil is a lie. The devil is a lie. All right.
Yeah, it actually said my connection was interrupted. A network change was detected. So
Wow.
it's literally saying there was a change to my network. So
I'm kind of wondering, it seems that we're having a little bit more difficulty today. And, you know, we don't want to be
absolutely.
serious,
Yeah.
but
Yes, I am.
oh my goodness. Are you there? Or the screen's just frozen? Yeah. All right. So I just need to be prepared to jump in and jump out here because I really don't know what's going on with the technology today. We are having a lot of difficulties, but it's okay. We're going to get through this. Today is the day that a winner will be drawn. A grand prize winner will be drawn today, and they will receive a 55-inch color TV. And so we've been giving out some awesome prizes for the last 30 days. Not one prize has been under $25. And I want to thank the community, and again, the members, especially the members of the Coalition for Just Hamilton County, because many of them donated these prizes or purchased these prizes to be donated for the sole purpose of helping to raise money to pay this unjust court costs of $35,000, the highest in Hamilton County. It has been verified. The coalition did a records request on the clerk's office, and they did verify that they didn't have any other cases. Now, can you imagine, as long as the court system has been around and all of these years, they can't find any other court costs that have been assessed to anybody, not a murderer, all of these we're talking about major crimes here, and no court costs as high as the ones that have been assessed to me as judge for literally no crime whatsoever. And so the probation officer recently confirmed to me, I did speak to him. I even said, hey, can you get these lowered? And because, again, as a judge, I know how the system works. And this is just abnormal for me to have been assessed these type of court costs for, first of all, for a crime that never occurred. especially after we proved that they framed me and have the evidence, all the evidence to prove that. And they basically acknowledged it, truth be told. They acknowledged that they tampered with the computers. They acknowledged this, and yet nothing has happened. And I'm still paying, after going to jail, being in jail for months, I'm still now paying $35,000. And so that's what this drawing has been for. The goodness of the people who understood and recognized that an injustice has occurred in Hamilton County, and they banded together to help to eradicate these unjust court costs of $35,000, which, again, my probation officer, I can't even believe at my age and with the type of life that I have led, literally, that I have to say my probation officer. I mean, it's unbelievable. But my probation officer confirmed a couple of weeks ago that he has never seen court costs himself. He's been, I think he said, employed with Hamilton County since, I think he said 2006, and he's never seen court costs as high as mine either. So we've confirmed more in so many respects, Dr. Enoch, that in every stage of the process, from the time that I started to run for office, I have been treated differently, unfairly, unjustly, as a Black person and as a Black woman. And even with it all being public, nothing has been done to reconcile the injustice that has happened to me. Nothing at all.
Yeah. Yes. You know, I'm almost afraid to not do this drawing right now, Judge Hunter, because I feel like if we don't go ahead and do this drawing right now, I'll get kicked off forevermore because the powers that be don't want us to be doing this broadcast, right? So yeah. I'm going to go ahead and cue up. Let's see. Wrong music. I'm going to cue up our music and prepare for our drawing for our grand prize. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share the screen. And keep in mind, we are giving away a 55-inch smart TV right now. And so
I don't have one of those.
You don't have one? You should have bought a ticket, Judge. All right. So I'm going to shuffle these names again. And I'm ready to push this button. I'm really, really nervous to see who's going to win the grand prize today. So let's hit it. All right. Are you guys ready? You ready, Judge Hunter?
I'm ready. I can't believe it. Right. 30 days, and here we are. Big moment.
30 days to the big moment.
It's been so fun. I like to people.
Well, let's see who wins our grand prize. I'm going to spin the wheels of justice. Can you see the wheel?
I see the wheel. I see my red in the wheel.
Let's see who is going to win when we spin the wheels of justice. All right. Let's spin the wheel. The wheel is spinning. The wheel is spinning. The wheel is spinning.
I'm scratching my head, man.
I think we have a winner. Our winner, Jackie Smith, ticket number 921. You just won the 55-inch color TV.
Yay!
Congratulations, Jackie Smith, ticket number 921. You are our winner for today.
Congratulations. And thank you for the support, Jackie.
And everybody
over
all 800 names that are on that wheel, we are thankful, so thankful for your help, so thankful for your support. And this drawing was actually 2 months late because of COVID-19, but I want to just say thank you guys for hanging in there with us, because we didn't realize that we could continue this online, and when we did, we made it happen. and from Carol, who helped us. But guys, I am getting ready to do a television interview or a newspaper interview. And so they are here now. And so it was a pleasure seeing everybody. You guys have a wonderful rest of the afternoon.
Wait, give me 1 second. They're gonna have
okay.
They're gonna have to hold 1 second. Father, in Jesus,
okay.
Father, in Jesus' name, we pray, Father, for your grace and your mercy over this interview that Dr. Vanessa Enoch is getting ready to do. And we pray, God, that they will treat her justly and fairly and tell the truth. We pray, oh God, that you would go before her, prepare the way, make every crooked way straight, God, and use Dr. Vanessa Enoch for your glory. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen. Thank you, Dr. Vanessa Enoch, and everybody so much for all of your support. God bless you, and congratulations to all of our winners. All right. She's gone. And again, I just want to say thank you so much. And the reason I took the time to say that prayer for Dr. Enoch is because the media has not been fair to us as Black women. It was not fair to me, and it has not been fair to Dr. Enoch over the last couple of years as well. And so I just want to make sure that we put into the atmosphere that we are anticipating and expecting that if they're going to do an interview today with her, that they are going to treat her in the manner that she deserves to be treated, objectively, not subjectively. So again, God bless all of you. To all of the winners over the last 30 days, thank you. And to everyone that has continued to support me as the first African-American juvenile court judge of Hamilton County, thank you so much for your support and your continued support as I continue to raise funds for the legal defense to continue to fight this unjust charge. But in the meantime, farewell to all of you. God bless you, and thank you.